Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health, where we're documenting our health, well-being and weight loss journey and beyond. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be opening up another door on both of my brick advent calendars. I'm going to be telling you all about another one of our weight loss friends here on YouTube, and I'm going to be giving you a Slimming World hint or tip a little bit later on. So if you like all of that, stay tuned. Okay, if you've been following me so far, you'll know that I start off with the Lego City Advent Calendar, and today is the 6th, which is down here. So here we go, door 6, and ow, that's another underwhelming little selection of pieces. Right, I'll show you with the top down what we've actually what we've got in this one. So we're making another little tractor. I'm assuming it's a toy for the child figures that we've had in the past. There we go, we've got our pieces, and oh, it's a very simple build, this one. Look at this. So we've got our snot brick, it's called. We've got 2 of these. Snot stands for studs not on top. So we've got 2 of those. We clip into that red piece there. A 1x3 plate, like so. A single, it's a little cab piece. We've got a little roof piece on the cab, and then we've got more wheels than we need, because Lego do often give us extra pieces. That's the same with the big Lego sets, the same as it is for the small ones as well. And we've got 2 little wheels. These just clip on here. Oh yeah, look at that. There you go. Look at that little piece. Little red tractor. I don't know why I always make the same noise. When it was a scooter, electric scooter, it was pop, 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 pop. When it was the JCB bulldozer here, it was pop, 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 pop. And now the tractor's going pop, 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 pop. Maybe it's just the noise of the toys in this Lego world. But there you go, there's a little tractor. I do think that's quite cute. Am I going to use it as a little tractor eventually? No. It will get taken apart, and the pieces will be used for other builds after after Christmas, obviously. But for now, I think that's actually, it's quite a cute little thing. If you're a child, then obviously you've got much smaller hands, and these might be a lot more play size, especially with the child minifig that we had. But yeah, anyway, I've got to say, quite liking that. So then, let's go straight to our SlimLand person today. We're talking about the one and only Empress herself, Jane Day. Now, I've actually got a second character here. Who's this other character next to Jane? This is Joe, her son. The reason we've included Joe is because Joe does all the filming. He helps her with the content that Jane makes. He and Jane both go on a lot of walks together, and I believe that Joe cooks a lot of the food that they eat. So a lot of the on-plan food that Jane talks about in her videos, they eat. Joe is also a gym bunny, so he is down the gym all the time. I don't know whether he's actually a personal trainer, but in my head he's a personal trainer. So in the new year, I am hoping to get some advice from Joe about starting at the gym, because that's something me and Rufus want to do to continue our sort of health, well-being and weight loss journey. Now, if you haven't seen Jane before, Jane is a YouTuber who is following the Slimming World plan. You've often heard her say that the plan will work if you work it, it won't if you don't. And that is a direct quote from the Empress Jane herself. Why do we call her the Empress? Because she has been making wise content around Slimming World and weight loss and her personal journey for many years. She's lost weight before, and then through various reasons she's gained some of that weight back, and she is back on her journey, working the plan in a very particular way, working it kind of the way it was meant to be worked, if that makes sense. So she uses her sins as part of her meals. She uses her sins to enhance the flavors. If she wants some avocado, maybe for instance, she'll have some avocado and sin it. She doesn't really like low-fat cheese or low-fat yogurt, so she will have some of the higher fat variants and sin them, which is exactly what we're supposed to do on plan. The sins are there to help us keep those flavors, keep the food that we enjoy without feeling like we're on a diet. And I've got to say, for the longest time, me and Rufus both used our sins just on snacks. And through watching Jane, when we came back to Slimming World, Jane's videos were the first ones that we went to go, right, let's remind ourselves how to do it. And we are working our version of Jane's plan. Not the Jane plan, because that's something altogether different, but our version of Jane's Slimming World plan. So yeah, I've got to say, if you haven't watched Jane, where the hell have you been? Her videos are amazing. Please do go and check them out. I should also say at this point that Jane is also blind, and she talks very openly about some of the issues that causes her on her plan, although it isn't a significant part of her videos. It's just part of her life. In the same way that both me and Rufus are trans, we don't talk about it in every video. It's just part of our life, and it's a very similar sort of thing to that. But Jane is truly inspirational. She is aiming to lose 1.5 pounds every month. She's happily bringing her weight down slowly. She's going to the gym with Joe. She's doing all of these wonderful things. And every single week, she uploads a 25-30 minute video where she shares advice, her wisdom, tips. She updates us on her story. She tells us what wonderful things she's putting in the basket of the week this week. Honestly, she's a remarkable person and a very, very kind and loving friend. And yeah, go and check out her channel. Next up, we've got the other advent calendar. This isn't actually a Lego one, this is bricks. Same basic thing basically. And now we're going to day 6. This one I got off of Amazon. I've got to say, this one doesn't have minifigures in, but the piece count is a lot more than the official Lego one. You can see here we've also got another sticker, it looks like. Yep, I'm not sure what that is. All of these plastic bags, luckily we put them in our recycle bin, so we are able to recycle these. Oh, is this a reindeer? I think this is the reindeer. Is it? Yes, look, it's the reindeer. Oh, that's so cool. Right, let's start. So we've got a 2x4. Got a Mr Felix. He's decided to not sit on his chair. He's sitting on his actual bed that we've got him next to the radiator today. So that's very good. Oh yes, I'm just going to knead that comfortably, he says. Lovely. So there we go. That is what we've got from today's non-Lego piece. We've got a little Rudolph. That's very cute. I know we don't have a minifigure as such, but you don't really need a minifigure if you've got a lovely brick-built Rudolph like that. You can see what he is. That is very cool. I do like that a lot. Now then, every video I do like to share a Slimming World tip or trick, and quite often we talk about speed food. Now there's a reason for that. The reason is that we often see people sharing what they eat in a day, and a lot of people arguably aren't getting that third of a plate of speed food that the plan calls for. The reason the Slimming World plan calls for a third of a plate of speed food is because the speed food is nutritiously dense but calorie light. And what I mean by that is it's a good amount of food that you can eat that fills you up, that helps with satiety, that's full of nutrients, but it doesn't add a lot of calories. And that's something that, again, is a key fundamental part of the plan. Now, we often see people online sharing what they eat in a day or sharing recipes, and there's very little speed on their plate. If there is, it's a little bit that's added on at the end. So this tip is a good method of increasing the amount of speed that you eat with only a little bit of effort, and it's about having a speedy stock pot or a speedy soup that is pretty much done and ready to roll at a moment's notice. Now, what I mean by this, if you are lucky enough to have a soup maker, then a speedy soup is so simple. All you do is you whack some onions, some tomatoes, some veg, whatever your speed veg of choice is. If you've got something in the fridge that needs using up, maybe the carrots are going a bit wrinkly, maybe your parsnips are a bit past their best, whatever it is, just give it a quick peel or give it a wash, chop it into bits, chuck it in your soup maker, add in plenty of herbs and spices, whatever your favorite flavors are, add them all into that soup maker and give it a whiz, give it a blend. If you haven't got a soup maker, then it takes a little bit longer. It's a bit more of a faff doing it on the stovetop, but again, it's fairly simple. Just whack your ingredients in and give it a blend. Then once it's cooked, pour out your cup for that day, and what's left you want to portion up. Now you can get pots that have got tops on, jars on, or you can do what we often do, is to get some plastic beakers, and you basically fill that plastic beaker with your soup and you put some tin foil or cling film on the top. They will store quite happily in your fridge for 3 or 4 days. If you put them into sealable bags, Ziploc bags, or even just a sandwich bag that you tie tightly, pop it into your freezer, those will keep for weeks on end. And then if you're feeling a bit peckish and you think, oh, I haven't got any go-to snack food, you know that you can grab that soup out of the fridge or out of the freezer, a couple of minutes in the microwave, and you will have a very tasty, speedy soup. And when you're making your soup, if you concentrate on that speed food, so your soup can be 90-100% speed food with lots of herbs and spices and flavors, it absolutely will help you stay fuller for longer. It will help you stick to plan. I'm not being funny, but on a cold winter's blustery day when it's freezing outside, your cheeks are red, your nose is red, and you're cold and wet and miserable, it's lovely to know that you can walk in your front door, go straight to your kitchen, to your fridge or to your freezer, grab that soup, pop it in the microwave, 2.5 minutes, take the tin foil off if you've used the tin foil, obviously. But in 2.5 minutes, you're going to have a really lovely, warming winter's speedy soup. And that 2.5 minutes gives you enough time to go and put on a clean, warm pair of fluffy socks, take off your wet, damp clothes from the rain and put something dry and snugly on, towel dry your hair, whatever it is that you need to do, you can do that. You've got enough time, and then a couple of minutes later you'll be sat on your sofa having a lovely warm soup, forgetting about how nasty the weather was outside and how many people hit you with their trolley doing their Christmas shopping. Do you know what I mean? It is nothing better than knowing that the minute you walk in the door, you've got something that is quick, easy, and will keep you 100% on plan. If you make a super speedy soup, please share your photo or share the recipe over on our Facebook group. Just look for the Losers Club by Beyond Authentic Health. We've got a massive support group over there with lots of people on all sorts of different weight loss plans, all at different points of their journey, and I'd love to see what recipes you've created. That is going to be it from me. Hit that subscribe button for loads more health, well-being and weight loss content, and I will see you for another advent calendar unboxing on tomorrow's video. And as we always say, be happy, be healthy, be authentic. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, Mr. Felix. Hello, I know, you're so special. You're going to be the star, aren't you? No one's going to care about me. They just want to watch you. I know.